Today we're going to look at how to customize an existing TED Ed lesson. I have navigated to ed.ted.com, and although there is a lovely little red Create a Lesson button here, I don't want to start from scratch. Today I want to find an existing TED Ed lesson that already has maybe a discussion and a quiz created for it, and I just want to customize it from there. So I'm not going to use this option, and before I get too far into the process, I do want to log in or register. So if you don't have a TED Ed account, just choose register. It's free. You will have to confirm your membership through an email that they'll send to you. I've already signed up for an account, so I'll just choose login. Now that I'm signed in, I'm going to find an existing lesson that I can customize. And I could drill by topic using the Lessons tab, or if I know specifically what I'm looking for, I can just type it in. I'm going to start by searching science fiction. Now there are 23 results that are returned to me, but only 19 of these are TED Ed lessons that other educators have already created. And I want to start there so I can simply customize the work of someone else. So I'm going to start with TED Ed lessons. And I'm going to use this lesson on how science fiction can help predict the future. So I'm going to select that TED Ed lesson. Again, I'm going to kind of avoid that Create a Lesson link at the top and see what has already been added to this lesson. Now there should be a video right here because I'm at school, I'm not seeing it. So I'm going to quickly bypass iBoss. I do that by going to Redbox and logging in. Really, you can go to any blocked site. Just leave the internet access window open, and then I'll pop back over to this page and refresh. Here's the introductory message the teacher has added. And then the lesson has 4 main components. Watching the video, I've already seen the video, it's going to work for my purposes. A think section, which includes a quiz. If I hover over this again, I can see it's got 5 multiple choice questions with it and 3 short answer. There's a dig deeper section where there's some resources provided for extended learning, and then there is 1 discussion that has already been created. If I click on any of these, I can see exactly what that discussion is, or if I go to the think section, I can preview the quiz. So these are the questions that are already in the quiz. To get started customizing the lesson, I'll just scroll down and choose the red Customize This Lesson link. Now all of those components that I previewed a second ago are now editable. So I could customize the Let's Begin message. I'll often customize the visibility. So if the lesson is listed, other TED Ed users will be able to search and find it. If you don't want your lesson shared beyond your class, just switch that to unlisted. If I wanted to exclude the quiz completely, I could just use this exclude link, or I can go into the think link and I can remove any of the questions, or I can add my own questions. You can have a maximum of 15 questions. So I have plenty of room to create my own, and I can choose a multiple choice or an open answer question for students to respond to. Because the questions don't pop up as students are watching the video, it is nice to put a little time code as to where that question might be answered in the video, if you know that. So your question goes in this field, the time hint in the next one, and the answers go here. And then you get a preview before you save it. So now this quiz looks like it has about 9 questions, and I can go through using the buttons across the top. I'm going to quickly peek at the dig deeper section. So these are just some web resources and links that have been provided for additional study. I think I'll just leave those as is. If I wanted to change anything, I sure could. This is a rich text editor that lets me add in some links and some images. And I'll pop over to the discussion. So we will pretend here that I don't want to use this discussion topic, although it's much better than the one I'm going to use for a sample. And so I'm going to exclude this one, and I'm going to add a new discussion. If I wanted to, I could keep both and give students the option to respond to one or the other. But I'm going to just add a new discussion and paste in the question into the title field. To save it, just use that red add button at the bottom. And then the Add Finally section allows me to leave my students with a closing thought or something to ponder. I'm going to leave that blank. I can preview my entire lesson right here. This is similar to what it's going to look like for my students. I can just kind of pop through the different areas, see what my discussion looks like. If I want to make any changes, I'll just go back into editing mode. And if not, I'm going to go ahead and publish it so that I get a link I can share with my students. Now this lesson and its link will always be sort of saved on my TED Ed dashboard page. It's also a good idea to copy the link right here. You can share it via email, but what you're going to need to provide to your students is the lesson link. If you failed to copy that before your computer crashed, you can always go back to your dashboard, click your little person icon in the top right, go into your lessons, and I can see that I have one published lesson. Here it is right here. So if I needed to, I can go back and edit it, delete it, or get that share link again. Now I'm going to switch over to just a generic student account and paste in that link. I can link this to my webpage, share it with students through Schoology. Again, this one is not listed or public on TED Ed. I have it unlisted, so students will need this exact link to find it. Students can see the video, they can choose the Think section, and as soon as they try to complete some activity, they are prompted to log in or register. So your students will need to create a free TED Ed account. And they will also have to confirm through email. Now the first time a student registers for TED Ed, they might get lost in terms of losing that lesson page that they were on before they had to sign up. So again, they just might have to come back and enter that URL to get directly back to your lesson. Now that I'm logged in as a student, I'll be able to take the quiz. I can also go to the discussion, view the discussion, and I can respond to it. From your teacher console, you'll be able to see how many students have joined that lesson. I have just the one that I've used for demo, and how many discussion posts have been created. And that, of course, quick links right into the discussion. I can see there's one response, and I can go in and view the discussion and see what my students have posted. So that is the complete process of customizing an existing TED Ed lesson and sharing it with your students. It's definitely a really quick way to get started because you can build on the work others have already put in. And next time we will look at creating one from scratch.